But here on the Mark It Down podcast, we just go through the forbidden doors, one door over to Impact Wrestling, who had a very interesting show a few days ago. We're going to get into it more, but so the main headline for me, not maybe the main headline for everyone else, was that Mickie James dethroned Deonna Purrazzo as the women's champion, and I am a little surprised at that result, to say the least. But there was so much more went on, like the main event, which will be explained to you. We all love Mickie here, but was this the right move, Jim Duncan? And also fill us in on the main event because I loved the way you put it earlier.
So we all love Mickie James. I don't think there's a wrestling fan out there especially in our age bracket, who doesn't love Mickie. She has definitely been seeing a revitalization of her career post WWE, and I'm very happy for her for that. And she could still go, she's still a great talent. It's interesting to see her in Impact, and now as the new Knockouts champion, dethroning the excellently booked, we've talked about this before, Deonna Purrazzo. And it's a conflicting feeling if you're a fan right now, because on one hand, again, we want to be happy for Mickie, good for Mickie. But on the other hand, Deonna, who has been booked so well, has gone through the entire Impact division, the entire Knockouts division, I'm sorry, for Impact. And she didn't have anybody else to beat. Like, yeah, there has been an influx of new talent. And there were probably people who, if they had given them more time, could have been the person to take out Deonna. But I guess they wanted to take the title off now for whatever reason. And Mickie was probably the person best positioned to do that. I would have liked to see her be Knockouts champion a little bit longer. I think there could have been, even though they're best friends and we all sort of want to see them as a tag team, I think there would have been a great feud with her and Chelsea Green. I don't quite know what this does for Impact. I think this is a bigger win for Mickie than it is for Impact to have her as their Knockouts champion. But maybe this is their way of trying to really build up that connection with NWA. So we'll see what that means. Again, me, Mr. Positivity, Mr. Optimistic. I'm hoping that, as someone, like I said, Mickie could still go. I'm hoping that leads to a lot of fun matches because she has some talent to work with in that division. But we'll see. And that's not even, to me, as big as that news was, that's not even the most exciting women's division news Impact had. The Inspiration debuted, winning the Knockouts tag team titles. And first of all, wow to their entrance, wow to their new music video, and great for them as two incredibly hardworking women who are hopefully going to see so much success in this new company. Moving on, though, to the main event of Bound for Glory. That's it. I think we've all sort of ignored actually saying the name of the pay-per-view. That's my bad. Bound for Glory. We saw not only one new Impact World Champion, we saw two new Impact World Champions. Dethroning Captain Charisma himself, Christian Cage, we saw Josh Alexander, who has been a true, incredibly, wow story for Impact, creating an honest-to-God star out of one of their guys. He's not a former WWE guy. He's not from anywhere else. He's one of their guys. And to just compare, his former tag team partner was Ethan Page, who is doing not a lot in AEW. And Josh stayed, and he showed why that was a good decision, as he is now the new Impact champion. Or was the new Impact champion, as a long favorite to win the title, Moose, called his shot and immediately cashed in on a winning opportunity that he got earlier in the night, to almost have essentially a Money in the Bank moment, where as the heroic Josh Alexander is celebrating his title win with his lovely wife and daughter, Moose waits for the man to turn around, spears him out of his boots, gets the 1-2-3, and just ruins such a beautiful Kodak moment for the Alexander family. Guys, let me tell you, I've said it before, I'm a mark. I love those babyface beautiful moments. I am always going to root for the good guy. I'm always going to root for the babyface. But I would be a damn liar if I said Moose ruining that celebration wasn't a, oh my God, this is amazing moment. And I know I've been saying it. This podcast has been coming around to it. Watch Impact, because that was a moment that, like, I'm sorry, WWE has been trying to cultivate for a long time, and Impact did it. They knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, you gotta love being mean to children in pro wrestling. Doesn't get much better than that. Also, well put, the Iconics. They deserve it so much. Great moment for them, and I'm sure it's as great as that was. It's all uphill from here. So, well put, James. Spoken like a true hot dog eating contest runner-up. But to move on from the big sad to the big bad, Chad, you're probably the biggest MJ fan out of all of us. How did you like Mickie James winning the title? How did you like the inspiration? And how did you like all the beautiful shenanigans of the main event?
Yes, I am by far the biggest Mickie James stan. I love her. I did not watch the pay-per-view, sadly. I know this is a wrestling podcast. James, I'm sorry. I will watch it at some point this week before the weekend, I'm sure. This is number 10 for Mickie, correct? James?
I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know the number off the top of my head. I'll look it up for you, but she's definitely got a few titles amongst a few different companies.
Okay. I think it's 6 in WWE. I don't know how many in Impact.
I'm sure it's up there. It's a lot. As a stan, I do not agree with the decision to put the belt on her. Impact has been really good as of late, so I'm opting to trust them and see what comes out of this. But I'm with James. I kind of don't see why you took it off Deonna. She's been booked greatly. She's run through the whole roster. She's looked incredibly dominant and protected. So I guess if she were to be dethroned, it needed to be by a legend. So I get that aspect. And as James said, Mickie can still go. I think Mickie will always be able to go. I just love her. But I don't really see why they did that at this juncture. But I'm choosing to trust them and see this out to see if something great comes out of it. I hope so, because Deonna, I mean, this has been her year. This has been probably the greatest year of her career so far. And I only see her being amplified. As far as Moose, I like Moose. I can't wait to watch the Alexander match so I can see us making children cry, as you said, Danny. That's phenomenal.
That's what wrestling's all about.
And as far as the Iconics, the inspiration, I love them. I absolutely adore them. So I cannot wait to see them win the belts as well.
Yeah, I think you put it well. Like, we all trust Mickie James, so we're willing to ride it out. And for Deonna, it's a bump in the road. She's gonna move on and be just as good, if not better. So I'm gonna throw it over to Rev Pro Wrestling Opinions over here. What are your thoughts?
I looked it up just to confirm. This is indeed Mickie James's 10th title reign between the two major companies. She had
I'm a stan.
Yep.
Well done, man. Good number.
Yep.
Way to go.
5 WWE Women's Championships, 1 Divas Championship, and then this is her 4th Impact Championship.
Ooh, accolades.
I do have to say, I'm a little surprised she won. As we've discussed both today and previously, Deonna Purrazzo has been one of the best book champions probably in the last 5 years. Like, she's just, everything she's done has been perfect. But to your point, James, they really cleaned out that division to the point where they didn't have a credible challenger where they could use to take the belt off of her. So where does that leave you? It leaves you with a person in Mickie James who I personally think would be best served as someone who is occasionally chasing the title, but probably, putting the champion over or putting people over to help build them to help shape the championship. A position I expect somebody like CM Punk is going to be in soon, where he's helping put over younger talent. But they had nobody else. So Impact kind of booked themselves into this weird little corner where they didn't really have a choice. Now, look, I'm happy it's Mickie. I love Mickie James, not as much as you, Chad, but I was going to say just as much as the next guy, but the next guy was Chad. So I'm sure she's going to do great with the title. I'm sure she's going to use it very well to help put over a lot of people, or at least give them the rub, not necessarily have a quick title reign and lose. And hopefully they can use her, and now Deonna being able to perhaps lose a bit more since she doesn't have the title, to help rebuild that women's division there. Because, like you said, James, she ran through everybody. They need to start building another credible challenger and then champion. So hopefully that goes that way. This Moose shit is hilarious. Oh my God. Just having him spear this guy right in front of his kid is amazing. I've always wondered how they get kids to go in on that, whether or not they tell them, or it's like, hey, your dad's going to get his shit rocked right in front of you, or they just let it happen and see how they react. But, oh, God, that was so funny. And I'm just going to reiterate what everyone said about the Inspiration. I love them. I am so happy that they are champions again. I'm so happy that they're tag team champions. Finally, after all of this time, they are tag team champions. It only took them, just being ignored for 5 years while WWE was putting it on their tag team, women's tag team champions on random pairings like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who never, talk to each other. So I'm so happy for them. I hope they whoop everybody's ass in that company, and may they reign forever.
Hey, don't disrespect the Iconics WrestleMania tag team title victory.
Oh, holy shit. I completely forgot about that.
Damn. I was going to say it. I didn't want to break it to him, but yeah. I still to this day say it was a mistake to not have them be the inaugural champions. Because
I agree.
Everyone's always going to know who Sasha Banks is and who Bayley is. They didn't need to be the first champions. Having the Iconics be the first champions means that their name would be attached forever. But I digress. WWE making a mistake. Shocker.
I'm editing that out. I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I forgot. I can see it in my head now.
I think honestly, it's great that you forgot that, because it speaks to how poorly that division is booked.
Yeah.
No matter how much we love the Iconics, it showed that WWE just treated that division like a joke. So as embarrassing as that is, I don't think that's on you. I think that's on WWE.
Yeah. But I mean,
Quick,
God, how often does that happen?
Right now? Who are the women's tag champs right now?
I know who it is. It's Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley, but they're the only women's tag in the entire division. So by default, they have to be. So as sad as that all is, I'm going to switch it over to something that's kind of intriguing. Yeah, we're all laughing at what happened with Moose and with Josh Alexander, because that's going to be a money feud for Impact. But I think sort of the hidden story there is
What does this mean for Impact's relationship with AEW now that they don't have an AEW superstar as their champion anymore? We have already seen that really their Forbidden Door access has really mostly gone one way. They got their 2 champions from AEW, which definitely helped them out a bit. And of course, AEW, I guess, did get the Good Brothers. But now that that connection's cut, are we going to see much more crossover between the 2 companies? I think we've all agreed, we would love to see the women interact, but who knows? Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm just now noticing the Good Brothers haven't been on AEW television for a while. So
yeah, maybe that's a symptom. Maybe we're actually seeing Impact and AEW are sort of.
Yeah, I don't see that would. I don't see it that it ended poorly. I just kind of think it ran its course, at least for now.
Yeah, it wasn't a permanent thing. I don't think it was ever going to be. And it's been almost a year, like, since it started. We're like a month and a half off from like the Winter's Coming episode of Dynamite. So like, I think it just finally ran its course. And, you know, I hope it continues for the sake of the women's division, like we're saying. But like, you know, if that was the end, it was certainly an okay ride. I probably
an okay ride.
I gotta say though, I was really hoping for All In 2, but if it's gonna end at least for now, then hopefully, like I said, it ended well enough where we can get like, something again down the road, because I think this was benefit to everybody, and I think we even got some cool interactions where we had New Japan guys with AEW guys and Impact guys in the Impact zone, which I just love saying because it's just a ridiculous thing. But we all had them there, and it was like this crazy crossover where somehow Impact became the place that everybody meets at. So hopefully we get more, even if for now we're going to put it on the back burner.
Yeah, hopefully Deanna challenges Britt at some point, but yeah.
I think that'd actually be not only a very great match, but I think it would be a very plausible thing to happen now because she doesn't have the title and it's not a champion versus champion match. Makes it a lot easier.
Damn, I just got super excited thinking about that.
It also helps that Britt has basically also gone through a lot of the AEW women's roster, and hey, maybe flipping the switch a little bit, having an Impact person come in and take an AEW title would be a fun way of keeping that relationship going.